This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead to one of the projects. Yes. Yeah, go to the backlogs because we were looking at the backlog concepts, right? So hope the functionalities with the individual backlog item or the entire backlogs is clear now. So we will go ahead and look at the different capabilities with respect to backlogs, boards, queries, etc. Okay. So in the backlogs view, as you can see, there are a list of users with respect to the level that we are going to select, right? So new work item will allow you to create. View as board will navigate you from the backlogs view to the board view. Okay. And then column options, we have, as we have already seen in the work items, column options will enable you to add additional columns based on the view that you wanted to see. Okay, click on the three dots there, Monica, after column options. Yes. So if you want to create a query out of this backlog items, you can use create query, or if you want to email it, you can email it. Okay, so these are the general operations that you see with the backlog. Right to the right hand side, if you go, where you select the different backlog items that you want to see, you have the view options, right? To your right hand side. Yeah, after stories, you see the filter icon right to your right. Yes, yeah. Before that, you see that symbol, which is usually for view options. Yes, click on that. So this will tell you the different views with which you can view the backlogs. Okay, if you keep parents on, right now it is giving parents off. If you give parents on, the view will be showing you all the parents as well. Right now for this developers team, we don't have any parenting done, right? We don't have a feature which is tagged to this user story. That's where you're seeing the category as unparented feature, unparented user stories. Okay, if you want that, you can enable that so that you will have the complete hierarchy view as well. And then you can also see that we have a forecasting option as well, right? So forecasting, yeah, can you disable parent? Yeah, let's switch forecasting on. So what does this forecasting tell you is that based on the velocity, that means we will be seeing that next when we are looking at the sprints, because we need to plan the team members who are working for our for your team, right? And on what activity they are going to work. So we have to consider these both as well. So in terms of that, it will calculate the velocity with which your team can go ahead and operate. That is what is the forecasting thing. Okay, so this one we will see when we are when we understood sprints and when we have the actual value working. Only when you have the actual estimations and your team members definitions, activities, everything, this forecasting would be a better option. Like it will give you, when you come on a daily basis, look at your backlogs. If the forecast is on, it will tell you this is your velocity now. So tomorrow, it what it should be, like what your team should achieve to go forward with the development. Okay, and then in progress items, as it states, if you want the backlog view only to have in progress items, it will be giving you so that you will not see the completed one in the backlog. Okay, and completed child items, because we are going to see the hierarchy. If you want to see that, you can enable this as well. Okay, and then you see the side pane with three options, which is mapping, planning, and off. Right, let's click on mapping. Yes. So mapping will tell you what are the features are available for these user stories if the mapping is really available for all these user stories with the features. Okay, so it is telling you now feature for this developers is that we have only one feature, but it is not yet mapped. That's where it is not giving you the relationship between the features and the user stories. Okay, and then can we go to the view options again? Let's see the planning view. Mostly used will be planning view. Mapping will only be used whether these user stories are linked or not, only to check that. But mapping will give you the overall idea of the number of user stories or the features that are being worked for that current sprint. Okay, but the mapping will be well defined once we look at the sprints. Okay, We will come back once understanding the sprints and having a demo of the real-time data. Then we will look at this. Okay. I want you to go back to the team as agile team, Monica, so that we have the relationships and the hierarchy defined there, right? So it'll be much more easier in terms of you. No, you can change the team in the backlogs itself. Yeah, go to backlogs. Yeah, take that drop down above team selection, developers. Yes, select the agile project team. Yes, okay. See now, this planning is giving you because it is telling you to which iteration what all belongs and what is the planned effort, right? So right now it is telling the current is iteration 1, and then in the iteration 1 we have one user story and we have one bug created, and it is also giving you what is the future sprints as well. Okay, and then let's go to the next option, which is called as filter. After the view options, you see the filter icon, right? Yes, above.
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking.
Oh, is it? I have network issues. Yeah, sorry for that. My Wi-Fi is not
Yeah,
working. I'm connecting through my phone.
yeah, it's breaking in between.
Okay, is that clear now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's go to the filter option. Yes. So filter option, as usual, like when you have the backlogs, because backlogs will have numerous records. If you want to filter it based on the types usually specify the work item type, that is feature, epic, user story, all what all work items that you have created under this backlog view. Okay, and then you can filter it based on assigned to states, tags, iteration, and area. Okay, so this is the out of the box filter that is provided by Azure DevOps. So you can use all these criterias. But one thing to note is that you cannot add in any filter criteria. Like if you want to bring other filter criteria like title in this filter, you cannot get that because this is what Azure is taking care. Like Azure DevOps team is taking care. You cannot add those filters. Okay. If you want that, you can go ahead and do it using queries. Okay, and then the gear icon, let's go to the gear icon. Yeah, we have seen one property with a gear icon wherein we wanted to enable the backlog level, right? That is the Apex features and user stories. If you want to enable or disable them based on the team, you can go ahead and look at this backlog view. Okay, so that is the appearance for your backlogs. The second option, can we go to the working days? So usually those normal working days will be these 5 days. That's where this is used. But the option is given for Saturday and Sunday in case if a critical delivery has to be done, you can even include the effort for Saturday as well. Okay. And then the third one, working with bugs. So this is the option that you will have to select. Working with bugs should be a similar like working with task. You can have these two as well, wherein bugs are managed with requirements. That means what is requirement here? Requirement is equal to the user story. If you give that, the bugs will be considered as a user story. Okay, because it also has story points. If you give the third option, bugs are bugs are not managed on backlogs and boards. If you give that option, bug work item, even if you have created and linked, it will not appear in your backlogs and the boards as well. Okay, because few client doesn't want bug also to be considered under their backlogs and boards. If they want to use that, then this is the option. Okay, yeah, let's cancel this. And there is a last thing that we will have to look in terms of backlogs, that is your analytics. Okay, yeah, beside yes. So analytics will tell you the different charts with respect to the analysis of your data. Okay, first one is CFD, that is cumulative flow diagram, and the other one is velocity. Okay, right now we are getting error is because we don't have the dates and the data correct in Azure DevOps, right? So I want you to correct the dates, not now, after the class. Okay, dates for your iteration, set 2 weeks for every iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, so that this would pop up. And also we are going to look at the capacity planning. So once we add all these things, I want you to add the dummy user stories, tasks, and bugs so that a real chart will be looking at this analytics view as well. That is one option. Otherwise, I can also share my screen and show you how the real-time data would look in the production organization as well. Okay, that I'll show you in the end of the class. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, these two diagrams will be useful, but mostly these analytics will be measured by the project management guys. Okay, so by looking at that, they would know what is the velocity and how the flow is happening inside the team.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's go to the sprint now. Okay, before that, I want you to set the iteration date, Monica. Go to project settings. Project configuration. Yeah, here set dates. Yeah, give from first actually. First to 15th. Yeah, save and close. Then second one 15th to 30th, right? Yeah, it automatically takes if you give that. Yes, save and close. The third one. Yeah, select the highlighted one, 30th. Yeah, save and close. Right. Can we go back to backlogs?
The iteration will be default to some 15 days. It is taking
Usually,
some.
yeah. Yeah, one iteration is equal to one sprint, and one sprint should be 10 days. That is how agile will work.
Yes, 10 working
But
days.
there are exceptions. Yes.
Okay.
Now can we go to the analytics? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Give view full report for velocity. Yes. This is how your report will look based on the number of work items that you have created. Okay. And you can also filter the velocity based on the filter that is there, like velocity by. If you want to look at the velocity by number of count of work items, sum of business value, or effort. Usually these are the criteria that the top management would consider when they are working with the project. Okay, yeah, let's go to the sprints now. So as you saw that backlogs is the overall number of requirements that are with respect to a team with irrespective of iteration path, right? But sprints are the view. This is a subset view of your backlogs, you can say, because this will give you all the work items to a specific sprint. Okay, so let's go to the backlog here. Right now we are in the task board, right? So let's go to the backlog. Yes, so here customer form creation. Why this is there? Because this is at the iteration 1, right? We tagged this as iteration 1, and if you see the sprint we are looking at now is at iteration 1. To your right hand side, if you see above, you have iteration 1, right? Above planning, where you saw the view options. Yes, exactly there. Click the drop down.
Yeah, JF, one small doubt here that yesterday Monica has created that this customer form creation under future as a parent, right? But here it is showing as unparent.
Did you create it under a parent, Monica? Yes.
Go to work items. You can see that in the work items. So customer form creation, open that. Yeah, go to that parent link. Yeah, the parent is development of customer module.
Okay,
Uh,
can you click on that parent of this thing? Because parent does not have any iteration, right? So that is why it is giving you the unparented one. Yeah, can we open that feature? Yeah, okay, it is in iteration 1, right?
uh, it is But here in this
But in the
option in the
sprint
future,
view, you will be able to see the user stories only. Can we go to the sprint view?
yeah, in the sprint view also, if the future user story is populating, means definitely it should be the parent should be populate, right?
No. See, the sprint view will give you only what you are working on that current sprint. You will not be working on feature. You will not be working on Epic. You will be working on user stories and bugs, right? User
Uh,
stories, bugs, and tasks will be the view that you are going to see in sprint view.
yeah, correct. But it's I mean, populating is fine, but we are working on user stories and tasks only, bugs only. But at least it should not show unparent means. I mean,
Wait.
user should.
Unparented is showing for a bug, not for the user story. See,
Okay.
bug, we don't have any relationship. No, that's why it is showing as unparented.
Okay. Yes, yes. For bug, it is not. There is no any parent. Correct.
Yeah, usually bug should be as a related to user story, right? So that in
Okay.
the sprint view, it will be clear that linkage concept.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead and link that bug to this user story, Monica, as related. It's already linked. Okay. Yeah. Got it. See, even if your link is related, it is giving unparented because bug you cannot link to a user story as parent because task is already like if you want to link, you need to link task as the child for the user story, right? So it will be in the unparented view as well. Bugs will always be in
So
unparented
whenever
view. If yeah.
So whenever we are creating any epic or future or anything,
Mm-hmm.
while creating, if we select only child, then only it will populate as a parent. If we are using any options like related, relation or something,
Mm.
or except child and parent, it will populate as unparent only, right?
Yes, correct. Any
Okay.
other relationship if you're using, it'll not come under that hierarchy. It'll be under unparented. If you don't
Yeah.
want to see that unparented thing, you can select that in the view because we have enabled the parented on. That's where we are seeing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it.
Close
Thank you.
this, Monica.
But we created bug under task, I guess.
No. Bug should be under user story. You created under user
User
story and linked the bug to the user story.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So here you will be seeing the backlog means the work items with respect to that particular sprint. So can we move to the sprint 2, iteration 2? Select from the drop down. The iteration 1 drop down to your right hand side where your view options is there. Yes. Yeah. Select the iteration 2. So here you will see the backlog items which are created for
No,
iteration 2.
but we are not yet created, I think.
Yeah, that's where it is giving you blank one, but I just want to see, I just want to show you how the navigation happens between the sprints here. Okay, in the backlog view, it is the whole requirement you can see, but if you want to see the requirement based on a sprint view, you will see here. Okay, because mostly whenever you're working on a production sprint, you will be coming often to this window only to see the number of user stories, tasks, and bugs that the team is working for a particular sprint. Okay, so can
Yeah.
we go back to iteration 1? Yes. Okay, so this is that backlog view, which is almost similar to our backlog, and also it has all the functionalities that we have seen in backlog. The main thing that you will have to observe in sprint is about the capacity planning. Okay, so can we go to the capacity tab? So here you're going to add the number of users or the number of team members who are working on this particular project for this particular sprint. Okay, only then the number of hours will be calculated. These calculations will be appearing under your work planning here. Okay, so now let's give okay, this is the user, give them, assign them an activity, click on the drop down. Yeah, give that he is working on development or deployment, anything. Yeah, capacity defined per day, like how many hours usually he works. If
8
he's a
hours or
sorry,
something.
yeah, if he is a full time, he might work 8 hours, or if he is a 50% allocated resource, then you can mention 4 hours here also. And if you want to add another activity for the same user, you can click on three dots. Yeah, add an activity. You can also mention the other activity that the same person is working on. Yes, defined 4 hours. Okay. And then if that person is taking off, you will have to define the days off here, because that will also be considered under the capacity, right? And then if you want to make the team days off, like for any national holidays or regional holidays, you can go ahead and define here so that the effort will not be considered. Okay, you can go ahead and add the user here based on the team's availability, or if you feel that all the members of your team should belong to this particular sprint, then you also have another option, like in the same row where you have add user, save and undo, right? You have three dots. Click on that. It will tell you to add all the team members of this particular team. That means agile project team, if they are having say 10 to 12 members, all those members will be added to the capacity planning of that sprint. Okay, and this capacity planning has to be done for every sprint. Only then the calculation will happen for that sprint. Because usually what happens is, whenever you're planning for the next sprint, not the team members who are present this sprint will be carry forwarding. It may be that there will be few additions or few users not working on the same project. So every sprint will have the number of users planned for that sprint's capacity and to measure the velocity as well. Okay. Now you can go ahead and save it.
Yeah, there one more doubt that here, if any resource who is working on that manager, so he wants the, what is the building and what is the capacity that manager is allocating to me or something like that. So for that, manager has to send the email, these all the details, right? So I didn't get any email option in this page.
See, this capacity is not like this is capacity planning for your sprint. But if you want to take the email option, no, here we don't have any email option, because this will not exactly match your planning what you're doing. You can take the data from here, but you will have to make your own report. We don't have that report functionality here, because it keeps changing for sprint to sprint, right?
Okay. Okay, not only, I mean, total sprint itself, there is no option. Total that sprint option itself, there is no email option for that, right?
You can have the email option for the work items, like in the
Yeah, yeah.
sprint you have backlog, right? Backlog you can manage that.
Okay. For backlog, there is option. Okay.
Yeah, backlog, if you have a bulk selection, you can go ahead and click on three dots. There you find the email option, right?
Email option is there. Only capacity there is. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Go ahead and click on save, Monica. Okay, so this is about your capacity planning. Yeah, let's go to the task board now. We understood the backlog and the capacity. Let's go ahead and look at the task board. Okay, so this is the Kanban board view, where you will have your view for the number of user stories and the task that your team is working on a sprint. That is why this board name is task board, because usually we concentrate on tasks in this board for that particular sprint. So this board will be used whenever you are dealing with the team for daily stand up, right? To ask what is the progress on this task, whether this can be moved to active, closed, remove, and all that. So here in the board view, whatever you see, the states are with respect to the task, right? So if you want to view, it will be user story and then the related tasks for this user story. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's create one task for this user story, customer form creation. Click on the title, Monica. Yeah, add a task for this, add link and add a task as child. Yes, give demo or something.
Actually, in the work items, whenever we are creating this user story, there itself, if I create any task under that parent, I mean user story, so by
Yeah.
coming to the sprint, can I link that?
Yeah, you can link.
Okay.
But by default, whenever you're creating, there will be an iteration there. But if you want to change that iteration, you can always do that. Move the iteration to different projects. Yes, you can do.
I
Yeah,
mean
save
to
and close
say,
it.
under this user story only, under this user story, uh, one second, mm, after closing that, I will show you that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is fine, Monica. You can close this. Yeah, it is already added as the
And
child.
yeah, I do have a query on this. If we go
Yes.
ahead and select the existing item out here,
Yeah.
okay, it will show us the available things, right?
Correct.
Ah,
Correct. And
okay.
if it is not there in the list, you can search it by the ID as well. ID
No.
or a name.
Yes, but see, we have already task which is been created under different user stories, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
if we go ahead and create the existing task under this user story, I mean, like, how
Mm-hmm.
does it works? It is under this user story and it is already exist in other user story.
Okay, let's try that. It will give you an error saying that you cannot have the linkage because same task cannot be added to two parents. Okay. Say for
Okay,
example, now you are having demo task, right? Yeah, use that task. No. Yeah. Even if you take the same thing, it will tell you that it already has a child link related to that. That means it already has a parent. That's what it says.
and how
Uh,
about this? It got
Maybe this
added.
one doesn't have that. This one doesn't have a user story. Means a parent. Can you click on that task? Let's verify that. It doesn't have any link, right? If a parent link was already existing for this task, then it would not allow you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
clear.
so,
idea. Yeah.
Jay,
Please go ahead.
one more thing, that same question only. If, I'm asking that
Yes. Yes.
if I create any task under the user story which we created already in under the work item, so if we select here, so it will take, right, in the
Or.
sprint.
Mm-hmm.
For example, uh, I mean, Monica created that user story as a customer form creation. But if
Correct.
she created any task under this user story in work items itself, not
Mm-hmm.
under the sprint, in the work items itself. So if we come to sprints and if we select that one, we can select that task also here, right? It will take, it will
Yeah.
allow.
Yes. See, whenever you mean work items, no work item can be created without sprint. Means what? Without iteration. Okay. If you're creating, that means it will be in the, if you're not selecting iteration one, it will be in the base iteration path. That means, see, now agile project / iteration one is there in a iteration path, right? So in iteration path, if you don't want to specify iteration one, because whenever you're planning a requirement, maybe you're not sure this requirement should move to which iteration. Correct? In that case, what you will do is that you will not select iteration one, you will keep it in agile project only. Later, based on the discussion, you can go ahead and move it to the sprint that you want to use, like iteration one, iteration two, iteration three. Anything you want to go ahead and change it, you can do it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now we have the child as well. Yeah. Close this, Monica. So now just refresh so that the task board will have your user story and the task view as well. So now you see the task as well, right? So in the task board, it shows you user story and task. If you want to move this task, because usually generally in the discussion, what happens is this task is in new, but I want to move this task to active. Okay. And I told that this person would be working on this task. Let's move it to active. So if you want to move, just drag and drop the card. Yes, so that the state of that card will change and it will become active. That's how your Kanban board is much more easier whenever you are having your meetings, and also to show them how your team is performing as well. Okay.
Okay.
So Kanban board will provide you the drag and drop functionality, and also the requirements would be in terms of cards. That means each box you are seeing here is referring to a card. In that card, what all details you are able to see right now: title assigned to state, right? If you want to include more fields into the card, you can also go ahead and do, but there is a limit for that. It allows only 10 fields to be present in the card, because this is only to have a reference whenever you are discussing, right? We cannot bring all the fields all together in a card. It becomes cumbersome whenever you are dealing with many records. Right now we have only few records, it is easier, but whenever you have a working production organization, then you will have many user stories, many tasks, so that if you keep the card fields less, only whatever is important you want to add, that will be fine. And also it will have default fields, which one you cannot remove. You can only add the fields which are not default, and then go ahead with your card. We will see how to do that as well. Okay, so this is about the Kanban board view. If you want to move it to the different states, see, this states refers to what? So new, active, resolved, closed, right? So these are the states with respect to the task, because in the sprint view, user story and task only will be dealt with. Okay, so this one, if you want to change the view, you have a filter criteria here, right? After the sprints option, you have person all. Yes, so that is the view with which you can go ahead and see the task which are assigned to all, me, unassigned, and for a specific user as well. Okay, and then in the view options, go to the view options. Yes, right now we are looking at the user stories view. If you want to group by people, you can also click on people. Yes. Okay, right now we don't have any other user. Yeah, it will give you based on what user is handling the user stories, bugs, and tasks. Okay. So yeah, let's go to the user stories. Like, let's click on stories and click on work details. Yeah, the same thing, click on work details. Yes, so work details will also be very important whenever you're working in the sprint, because see, work details will segregate you based on work what your team is doing, and will also give you the calculation about the capacity. So it is giving you work and total work what you have for your team, and total work by, which is segregated based on activity, work by segregated based on assigned to. So based on activity, how many are working and how many hours are there. 0 out of 32 means right now we gave 4 hours for development, right? Development and deployment. So 8 into 4 is 32. So 0 hours has been started, because we don't have anyone, like we don't have any user story or task that has been assigned and become active, and the user is working. That's where it is giving you 0 out of 32 has been completed. Same goes with assigned to as well. Assigned to, because both the activities are being performed by the same user, it is giving you 64 hour, and then 0 hour has been completed. Once you go ahead, create the task, finish your hours, close the task, here the number would increase. Okay, if they want to see how many are over allocated, under allocated, or they have given the capacity planning right as per the resources, they can go ahead and look at this work details. Okay, and the same that we had seen in backlogs, the filter will be same. Let's go to the settings, the gear icon. So here it would be okay. Here you will have to look at the different configurations with respect to the Kanban board cards, right? So as we discussed, we have 3 cards which are being by default appearing in this board. That is where you see task, you see bug, you see user story. Okay, so only these 3 cards are being used in this board. Okay, and the core fields, if you see, you cannot change the core fields. You can either disable or enable these core fields, right? So you see id assign to as, and then remaining work show tags. Okay, if you want to add the custom field, you also have plus field, which is a state, which is your custom field. In the same way, if you want to go ahead and add the another field which you want to look at the card, like in the card, if you want to look that, then you can also give that. So let's go ahead and add that as well. Click on plus field. Yeah, let's add one more one. Yeah, give completed work, because we want to see the completed work in task view. Okay, and you can also add iteration path, because iteration path is also not there. Sorry, iteration path would not matter because it is at the sprint. So let's give node name. Node name is the another field which gives you the area path name as well. Yeah, capital N. Yeah. Okay. Scroll the options. Oh.
It's not there.
Okay, give changed by. Yeah, so this is how you can increase the number of fields that you want to look at your card. Okay, let's see the next option. After fields, you have styles, right? To your left hand side. Yes. So this is about styling rule. Let me tell you why the styling will be important. Like whenever you want to apply a rule, say whenever the task is blocked or task is inactive, I want to see those active things with a background color. That's what it means. Okay, so let's go to the styling rule. Let's add a styling rule. Yes, rule name, you can mention anything, demo or something, but give a meaningful name whenever you're working, so that you will know what is that being done. Okay, yeah. And select the card color. Click on the, yes, select, give it as any of the colors. Yes, scroll down. You will have to mention the criteria. Yeah. Field, you select as status. If status is equal to active, yeah, state. Yes. Yeah, value you select as active. Yes. So your card color will become orange. Okay, and then the general things what we have already seen in the backlogs, like your backlogs, working days, and working with bugs, we have already seen with the backlogs, right? If you want to change that at your sprint level also, you can change that. Let's hit save and close. So now yes, so now you see your card color has been changed based on the criteria you give. Okay, so this is how you can go ahead and customize your task board here. Okay, so this is about the sprint task board. Let's see the board which is with respect to our backlogs. So can we go to the boards option? So here you will have the same view, but this view will be with respect to the backlogs. Okay. Yes, we have only customer form creation in Agile project team. Is it only one user story, right? Yeah, that's where you're able to see one user story, and you can also see the tasks here, like 0 out of 1 task is present for this user story in the symbol. Yeah, if you click that, you can also look at the task as well. Okay. Yes. And if you want to add the task, you can go ahead and do that. Here also, the card properties will hold the same, like what you saw in task board. It will be same for the boards view as well. And if you want to perform any actions here. Click on the card. You see the 3 dots. Yes. This one, edit. This one, if you want to move to the iteration, or if you want to add test, bug, task, or delete it as well. So these are the operations that you can perform at this card level also. And if you want to create a new item, you can also go ahead and click on new item so that a new item will be created here. Okay, but we have more options with respect to the task board. What we have seen in board, we have much more options. Let's go to the configure team settings here. The gear icon to your right hand side above, beside the filter. Yes. So the first option that you're seeing is with respect to fields. So this we are aware. The next option is with respect to styles, right? To your left hand side. Yes, style also you're clear. Yeah, the third one is with respect to the tag colors. Okay, so tag colors is whenever you are adding the tags to the user story, if you want to highlight that tag, you can go ahead and put the color for that. Let's click on tag color. Yes, select the tag from the drop down. Yes, test, let it be with the same color. Okay, yes, save and close. And you can see the tag being highlighted. Okay, let's go back to the settings again. So here, yeah, annotations will tell you what symbol is being used for what representation. For task, this is the visualization used. For bug, for GitHub, for team. Okay, this you don't have to worry. You no need to disable also. These are the by default one that has to be present. Okay, and the tests one, can we go to the tests? The next option. Yes. So here, this section we will see when we are looking at the test. But as of now, what it will tell you is that it will tell you what kind of test that you want to see. Whether you want to look at the test cases for a particular test plan, or if you want to create a new test plan based on the area path or iteration path that you are being selected in that card. Okay. So this we will see once we understand the test plans. Then the important section is the board section. Let's go to the columns. Okay, so these are the columns that are being shown to you in the Kanban board, right? So if you just move this portion down, you can see the same columns being appeared in the board. The first column is new, then is active, then is resolved, then is closed. Correct. So these 4 columns are the 4 states for your user story, right? So if you see, if you would like to add a new column, you can also go ahead and add it. But the mapping for that column should be done using the user story state. Okay. Yeah. If you just scroll down, you cannot edit the first state and the last state. Intermediate states, if you want to edit, you can edit, or if you want to add a new column, you can also go ahead and add the column as well. Okay. Yeah. So here the name is, yes, column N, but that column N should map to which state is what it is asking. For user story, click on the states. Right now it is at new, right? Yes, you have all these states. You can select any of the states within that. Closed, you cannot select because closed and new usually will not be editable. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and select the in progress one. User story, give active one. Yes. Click on OK, save and close. Yeah, you can name the column name anything else also. Like ready for planning. Before you move that state to active, you say that it is ready for planning. It is already ready. We can go ahead and move that to active stage. But ideally, it will be in active only. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and save and close. Yes. So now you see a extra column. If you move this card to extra column, what is the state you see? Active. So if you move this to active again, same, no change, right? So if you move it to resolved, You can see the state change, correct? Now here it is resolved, right? So if you want to customize it, you can go ahead and customize these columns. If you want to customize the states as well, because usually what happens, client might say that they don't want to use the basic one, what is there, like new, active, resolved, and closed. In addition to all these 4 states, I also want an intermediate state, like ready, something like that. If they want, you can also go ahead and customize it using the process template that we have seen before. Anyways, we will be taking a class on that, but for now, you need to understand, if they ask you, yes, we have an option to go ahead and add an additional state. For that additional state, if you want to add the column in the Kanban board, you can go ahead and add it in this way. Okay, let's go to the settings again. Yes, that is about columns and swim lanes. Usually how you want your board to look. Right now it is in the columns, right? But if you want to divide the layout into 2 and have the view like that, you can go ahead and use the swim lanes as well. But mostly I have not seen any organization using the swim lanes. If you are interested to explore about the swim lanes, you are welcome. Okay, go ahead and explore. But usually they don't use it. And the next one, card reordering, is also like how you want to order the card. Like whenever you drag and drop it, it has to be moved to the next state and the state change should happen. That's what is the default one. So let's keep that. Okay. And then the next one is about the status badge. Yeah, status badge is only to use the badge whenever you're using your wiki. Okay, when we are looking at the wiki is like your HTML content editor. You can go ahead and put your content in terms of HTML, and that it will be like a quick link for your team. Whenever anyone joins your team, usually what we do, we give all the documents for them in a site, right? Whether it is a SharePoint or internal sites. But here, if you want to give the information for that user, you can use the wiki that we will be seeing later. But in that wiki, if you want to use this status badge, so here what is the badge telling? It is telling Azure boards, right? The preview, under preview you see Azure boards. It is telling ready for planning, it is 0, active 0, resolved 1. So it will give you the badge of the current sequence happening. Like at the end of the sprint, if you want to go ahead and put this in a more look and feel wise, you can take this markdown that is below. Take this markdown, put it in a wiki so that it appears in that image, and they can see how many have been in active, closed, and new. Okay, only for representation this is used. In the general, as we have already seen, the backlogs, working days, working with bug. Okay, so I hope the concept of backlogs, boards, and sprints is clear. For today, let's end here so that I want you to go ahead and explore on all these things. Get back to me for the further doubts. Tomorrow, we will be looking at queries and then we will move into repos, Azure repos. Okay, by then, I think boards module will be done. Please let me know if you have any doubts.
Okay, Jay, we will do ourselves, then we will get to.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is perfect. Yes, go ahead
Yeah.
and explore. Let me know in the next class the doubts you have.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, will do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Apart from Joseph and Kishore, others can drop.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks, Jayashree.
Thank
Jesse,
you.
so you told that you will be showing something real-time scenario by end of this session.
Yes, I'll go ahead and share my screen. Give me a second. Monica, I think Srikanth dropped. Oh, can we see it tomorrow, Avinash? Because
Yeah,
I
no
see
problem.
Srikanth
Yeah, sure.
being dropped. Okay, we'll see that
Okay, okay,
at the start of the class tomorrow and then continue.
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fine.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you. Yeah, Jaya, you told that you will use another link from today onwards.
Yeah, because I was having my net issues. I could not communicate to Chatterjee. That's the reason I could not communicate to him. Can you ask
Can
him,
I?
Joseph?
Yeah, I will check with him. One second. I will call him. What is the time in India now? It's 5
It's
o'clock.
5 o'clock. Otherwise, we can continue today. You can ask him to keep the link ready by tomorrow and share it with us because I don't want to take time for that.
Oh, okay. But I will try. I am calling him.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. I'm calling him.